surprise Thursday afternoon live, at least for some of you. For some of you, it might be something other than Thursday afternoon. So I decided to do a little surprise today because normally I would do a 5 o'clock, a 7 o'clock, and that's Central Time live, but I have plans for tomorrow night, so I'm not going to be able to do that. And I haven't scrapbooked in a week since last Friday, or almost a week, and I'm ready to scrapbook. So I thought, you know what, I have a little bit of time this afternoon. I just decided to go live. And the other thing is I'm not going to be able to do it tomorrow night. I know that. So I thought I would just do it tonight. So tomorrow night's out. I know Saturday's out because I have some plans to scrapbook with a really good friend of mine. Normally I would be at a scrapbook retreat this weekend, starting today. But with all the surrounding virus and moving for me, I decided not to do that. So we just are getting together tomorrow and we're just going to scrapbook together. So that's kind of the background of why you're finding me live on a Thursday afternoon. Today I'm going to scrapbook these two photos of my grandkids. I think I've talked about this, I think, maybe in the last live, that I'm trying to finish up their 2020 albums. And I think I have about 6 or 7 pages left to do once I finish this, and then I'll be done with 2020. I can turn them over to them. I'm very excited about that. So these are two photos when they were with me in December, and I was making some popcorn for them because we were going to watch a movie together. And so I had them kind of reading books, and it was so cute with all three of them sitting on the couch. And then once we started the movie, you can see M number 1 and M number 2 were very excited about watching the movie. M number 3 was watching Grandma and eating popcorn, and so it was really fun. I've watched a movie with them a little bit before bedtime, but not a full one. They're getting old enough, especially with M number 3 around. It's a little harder because she's just turning 3 at the end of this month, so she can be, a shorter attention span than the other two. But anyway, so here's what I'm going to work with. Now, as I'm looking with these two pictures, I think I'm going to put them this way just for balance. This photo is a closer, so I think a closer shot of them, so I think it holds a little bit more weight. So like this, if I put it up here, it feels like it's going to come down on top of this one. The other thing is, this is actually the timeline of how the events happened. Hey, Lisa, it's good to see you here live. So, and for a couple of, there's a couple of people joining us now. So hi to everybody, even if you're not saying hi. So that's the reason this arrangement. The other thing I need to keep in mind, a lot of times I do my layouts starting at the left, like embellishment top left corner, going to the bottom right corner. And that is because we read right to left in a lot of countries, in English-speaking countries, which I am. I'm also right-handed, so it feels right for me to land on that side, but the viewing line of both of these photos goes to the left. So I'm going to need, when I work with my layout, to keep that in mind. I'm also going to challenge myself to do something that I don't do often, and that is start with a lighter background paper. A lot of times I start with my darkest layer at the bottom and then work up from there, and then, mix in darker or lighter. And I was thinking about doing this on the bottom, but I decided to challenge myself. And I like to do that sometimes to mix scrapbooking up for me, just to do it in a little bit of a different way. So the other thing is, I had no plans for what I was going to use, but I have a lot of Chamel pattern papers, and I don't mind having a lot in my stash, but I'd really rather have them in my scrapbooks. So I'm really trying to work on that. As a matter of fact, when I go scrapbooking with my friend this weekend, I'm really probably only going to take Chamel papers, my Best of Both World kit that I've stash curated for this month, which is Chamel inspired, and then some birthday papers, because M number 2, I always have to think about this, just turned 5, and I have his birthday photos to scrapbook if I finish 2020, which I think I will do. I think I'll probably be done with that. So let's get scrapbooking. I pulled out my envelope of field trip pattern papers. So that's what this is. This one is a really cute one with a rocket ship on it, and that is from the 12 by 12 pad. And then I just pulled out these other papers as well, some from the pad. This is a paper from the collection, but I don't know what it is. And I was thinking of maybe mounting the photos on that paper, but I'm not sure I like that. There's a lot of pink in the light in this, and I think just see how much better that sets it off, or it's even really easier to see this because it's more pink. So I think maybe I need to look for something other than red, at least for the layer right behind the photos. It would be really nice if I could find a piece of this big enough. Not sure I have that though. I'm seeing a lot of offcuts of that. So let me see what else. Again, I'm just going to go into my stash here. Now what I could do is do white behind it. I didn't even think about that. That's kind of not normal for me, right? And then I could put a red layer behind that. So that's certainly something I could do. We certainly print borders behind photographs. I also have this piece of yellow, which is from a project pad, and I actually kind of like the way that looks. So let's do that just because it's some color. You know me, I like color. But this yellow is one of the cardstock pieces that comes from the project pads, and they're really thin. They're not, you know, and they don't have any texture to them. So I think this would be good to use it. And I do like to either cover them up a lot as a background or use them like I'm going to use now, where I use it just as kind of a little border. And I think I'm going to put just a little bit of a gap between the photos here, just because they're so busy. And I think that will really help with that. Okay, so let's just trim these out. I'm so excited thinking about giving them their albums. And I don't remember if I talked about this when I talked about giving them their albums, and I did not trim that quite enough. But my daughter-in-law said something on Facebook a couple weeks ago when it was my stepson's birthday, and she talked about what a challenging parenting this year was for them, because they had 2 kids in school that were being, last year they had 1 child in school that was being homeschooled, and then this year they had 2 that ended up being homeschooled at different parts of the year. So, you know, she talked about that, but how she wouldn't have wouldn't have done it with anybody else, or rather wanted to do it with anybody else. And, you know, she thought as hard as the year was, there were some good moments. And I happen to know there were a lot of good moments because I've been saving the photos to scrapbook. So I think that'll be really cool for them to see that. Now, the one thing about this is I think I'd really like to see a lot more of that red, and I'm not seeing a ton of it. So I think I'm going to cut off that partial row. And this paper really is, it kind of looks like stacks of books, which I think is cool. And since they're reading up here, I thought that was fun and just, you know, something a little bit different. So this, not quite sure how this is going to go yet, you know, whether I'll bring it all the way out or just to chop a piece of it here. But let's glue here, and I should have my ink out. Oh, I do. It's over here on my table. I have my ink out because, you know, Chamel's papers. Hey, Susan, good to see you. Yeah, Lisa, it was a crazy year to raise kids, wasn't it? And they have 4. So it just, yeah, crazy year. But I think when they look back through their scrapbooks, they're going to see the love and the fun. And I think I did talk about that in the last one, because I think I talked about the day when they were sick with coronavirus, and they sent M number 1 and M number 2 outside to play in the mud. And I'm not kidding. The boys wanted to do it, and they said, okay, fine. And they were pretty sick at the time, but there's a great picture of the 2 of them that I've already scrapbooked, just having a great time. And the kids won't remember, you know, that it was you know, kind of a tough time. They're just going to remember having fun. So now the other thing I could do is I have these offcuts here, and I'm thinking maybe we do that and put that on that side. And I really like that. So what I'm going to do is glue this just in the middle here so that I can pick it up and ink it. I know one of my subscribers asked a question last week, I think, that I answered about it doesn't look like I put a lot of adhesive down, and I don't. Part of it is if I want to tuck things under, you don't want a lot of adhesive on these things. The other thing is I use ATG, which is a really aggressive adhesive, so you don't really need to use a ton of it. The other thing is if I'm not liking how things are sticking down, I just go back, and I'm going to actually cut this off. I just realized it's going to be a hard thing to glue it the way I was going to glue it. So let me just quick do that. And of course I didn't cut it well. There we go. But anyway, so I just, you know, you see me do that at the end a lot of times. I'll just glue a couple of extra edges down. And then I probably, before I really put this all the way down, I should probably ink this edge here and do that. So I am thinking when I'm scrapbooking on Saturday, I might take my camera stand with me and actually record videos. The lighting won't be as ideal as it is here at home, but you know, I think it'll be okay. And if it's not, I'll just delete the videos, right? Okay, so I really like the combination of that. I'm loving all the pattern here. And now the question is, do I just leave it so that it comes off the page? And I'm thinking I'm going to do that. I do think I want to leave a little bit of a spot here because when I was going through the field trip collection, I have these Genius thickers left. And so I was thinking about calling this Super Saturday Night. So then I could like put that here. And I'm thinking Saturday Night is going to be much smaller. I think we have it down. Look at that. So this and none of this other stuff is ink. So I'm going to pop that back on there for a second while I ink these pieces and find my ink because it was under the ATG. Oh, thanks, Susan. Yeah, I want to make sure, well, I don't know if I'll go, I live because, just because I'm going to be with my friends, so that would be a little weird, and, you know, we'll probably talk to each other and that kind of stuff, but you'll see the videos, and honestly, because I'm going to be moving, I need to get ahead on videos so that there's no, so you guys don't see a pause. So I'm always thinking about you. I'm working ahead already, but that's why, but, you know, maybe if my friend Erin is open to it, maybe we'll appear or something like that, or I'll do a live depending what's going on. I don't know I know there's internet there, I just don't know what the situation is, so I don't want to just say, hey, can I record video? Well, I mean, I can ask, but, you know, tell her I'm going to record videos. So anyway, yeah, I work ahead. I'm used to working ahead because I do that for when I do December Daily. Before I even start December Daily, all those December videos are done, and early January, I just don't have time to do both. So, but I want to make sure that I want to be sensitive to the fact that not everybody wants to do December Daily, so I want to keep that flow going, because I know before I shouldn't say I know before I did it, because I've been doing it a long time, but I know in December it becomes all about December Daily, and anyway, and I didn't always appreciate that. How about that? So I want to make sure you guys who don't do December Daily also have something to watch. All right, so now you just saw me. I added a little extra adhesive. That's what that stuff is right there. And so here's where I'm thinking I'm going to tack this down. And what I'm doing here is I don't like seeing two pieces of paper in the middle of a letter like that is. So I just find a spot that works to kind of cover that up. And then I pop these on there. And this S always, I know I had it on there correct, but it looks weird to me. So I'm going to pop that in there. And then we need to get Saturday night on here. The other thing, just so I don't forget, is I remembered that I thought I still had a popcorn sticker, and I do. And that's this popcorn sticker. Oh, and here's, oh, pieces of popcorn. Oh, okay. That's darn cute. So there's 4 pieces of popcorn, or 3 pieces of popcorn and popcorn bucket. So that's from the Photo Play Summer Bucket List, which it's older. Doesn't have a year on it, but it's probably 2 years old. So I thought I'd kind of put that to the side because I want to incorporate that into my gosh, words are hard today. I don't know why. Anyway, I wanted to incorporate that into my journaling. And then I also have this check it off sticker that I might try to use, because one of the things I wanted to do with the kids was to watch movies. We read books all the time. And so I thought that would be fun. So I know popcorn is so yummy. Oh, yum, yum, yum. I will tell you I cheated and used microwave because that's what I happened to have at the time. And I didn't think about it until after they were here, and I was not hauling 3 kids into Walmart, which is the closest store to me. And they wear masks. They're good about that, but just no. I didn't want to. So Super Saturday Night, and I could do this in a couple of different fonts if I wanted to. So let me look and see. I have my LA Studio letters here, you know, those lovely puffy letters. Let's see what I have that might work with this. So it's really more aqua than it is these blues. There's a little bit of navy, and I really just need, I'm thinking night in like a tile, and puffy for the other, or night and puffy tile for the other one. Bye, Lisa. So go ahead. Yeah, having to go get the little man. I get it. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. So can I make night? Not out of this alpha unless I MacGyver. I do like, these are the old alphas, and so they're a little bit bigger than the newer ones. They've shrunk the new ones down. So looking to see if I can make it out of this. No. Just because these again are bigger. I might have to MacGyver some letters here. So that's a little, that blue is a little off here. You go back to that red and see. I tried to put my letters sort of in order. And then I use them and they all go out of order. Okay, here's the big red. Can I get night out of anything? That would be difficult because there's no G, H, and T. Okay, so that might not be the right alpha to do that from. Just kind of looking at what else I have here. I wanted to go with a bigger letter, but maybe that's not going to work. All right, I certainly have plenty of red. It's just getting the right one. All right, let's look here and see what I have. I think this will work. These are from 2019. I do like getting the red in here. Maybe a navy tile sticker. And I didn't even look to see if I had all the letters, but I do until just now. Trying to live dangerously. here we have Super Night. And it's okay. I need to pack these up to go scrapbooking anyway, because you guys know how much I love these letters. And then I actually, these are kind of big, but I have an unused sheet of Ellie Studio letters. That's bad, right? Because they're not new. They are from 2017. I should be embarrassed about that, but I'm not, because I like to collect them. You know how that is. Well, I shouldn't say you all know how that is, but I think if we're a scrapbooker, we know how that is, that we like to collect our supplies as much as we like using them. I could use white. I'm just looking to see if I have any other blues that will work. I have a pack of My Mind's Eye blue letters that I'm not finding here. Sorry, guys. So I keep my letters in baskets right next to my desk. And that, for some reason, oh, here they are. Sometimes this one likes to hide on me. So I might use these. I might use these, which are probably even older. These are from 2014. Hey, Barb. Hi, Karina. That's awesome that you guys are here. So let me see. There's no Saturday here, but these would be fun to do some fry stickers if I want them. Let's see. Can I spell Saturday? Kind of. Not in all one font with these. That's what I'm running into. Sorry, guys, thinking. Maybe I just have to mix fonts, right? There's nothing wrong with that. Let's do it. That's not something I normally do. So let's look at that. Using a lighter background paper. And then, hey, Sue. Apparently this is not such a bad time to go live. I thought it might be kind of fun because I thought I might see some people that I don't normally get to see live. So that's kind of fun that we're able to do that. Okay. And if I get through this and I don't have all these letters because I didn't check, I'm going to be not so happy with myself. And I'm going to do something also with this that I don't always do, which this word is going to be longer than the word night. Normally I won't do that, but I'm going to do it today just because I'm doing different things today than I normally do. Okay. I had a great day already today. Now I know you're going to think this is weird, but I had to have breaks done today, except it didn't cost an arm and a leg, so I thought that was really good. Okay, so this is where I'm getting myself in trouble because I don't have another A now. But what I could do is I could mix fonts up here a little bit. Looking to see if I have a T. Yep. So this is what we're going to do here. So this one and this one I'm going to mix. And I'm not sure that I'm going to like this when I'm all done, but we're going to try. It's time to get the letter stickers used up. So now I've mixed upper and lowercase and two different fonts here, which is making my really organized personality a little twitchy. It'll be okay though. Okay, so what I am trying to do, this has some lighter and some darker letters. Actually, I probably need to use one of the lighter ones now that I look at this, because the A here is going to be lighter. Hey, Cynthia. I probably am not going to have time to do more than one layout today. I think I'm just going to do this one. And that's just because I have to go pick up some photos and get a couple of other things done. But otherwise, I would love to do that with you, because a lot of times I do more than one just because I scrap a little bit faster. But if I'm scrapping. Okay, so again, normally I would not do this. I don't normally like it when titles fall over the edge like that, but I have some thoughts about what we can do, because there's nothing anchoring this, right? Except I have popcorn. So I'm thinking that somehow I can get this in here, and that will kind of anchor this a little bit, is what I'm thinking. I do think that this super is a little close, so I'm going to pull this way and see if I like it better, and I think I do. Just to give this a little bit of breathing room, maybe. Let's see. And still not get that, you know, I still don't want to see, well, I see a little bit there of more than one paper, but I'll live with it. Okay, so now I think this part of the title has a little bit more breathing room. I could probably pull it over a little bit farther even. I'm not going to do that though, just because I think then these stickers don't always come off so well, and it's fine. All right, so then let's pop this up here. But I'm not going to take the backing off of this in case in the end, because I don't have any of my other embellishments done. Hey, Tammy. So that way I can move that around. But now we've solved the problem of that having an anchor. And I could put something else under there depending on what I decide. And I want that Check It Off on here somewhere. I want that popcorn bucket on here somewhere. And I need a place to journal, because, you know, this is a bigger story for me about them. I'm just going to go to my 4x6 cards. Here's my 4x6 versions of cards. See if I have anything that I like with this. I do have solid colors, but I also have a lot of non-solid colors. It is a little harder to find things that... So we could do this. And actually, I kind of like that. And what I will do sometimes, if I have a journaling card like this, and it looks really plain, is here's what you do. You grab some washi tape. So I'm going to see if I can find a navy that I like. If I haven't used up all of my polka dot, here we go. I have a Bella Boulevard washi that I can never remember if I still have this, but I do. So then I'm just going to take this washi, thanks Barb, and add it in here. I want to be able to see the top of that card. I'm going to flip it this way. There's a little bit of a crease here. I want to see the top of that card, at least a row of the dots there, so it looks connected. And then you just do this. Now, if you don't have washi tape, just take another piece of paper that coordinates with this, and you can do the exact same thing. And I can either tuck it behind here, but I think I'm going to put it right there. And now it's a decorative piece. I did not ink this, so let's do that. And this is kind of fun because I grabbed an envelope of paper and found the blue paper and decided to challenge myself and pulled what I could from that envelope. And then when I didn't like the red, I went back into that envelope of paper and found something that worked with it. So sometimes it's just a different way of looking at products. Sometimes that's kind of nice. Okay, so what I'm thinking about doing here is this. Check It Off, and I can talk about it being something I really wanted to do with them, and now that they're a little older, that's easier to do. Number 4 has finally decided that Grandma Kelly is not trying to kill him. I'm not sure if I've told you guys that story, but he was so little when the pandemic started last year that I didn't see him really much for months. And at one point I did go over and we all stood in the backyard in April because my stepkids had the virus at that point. Stood in the backyard. I had to bring them something that they couldn't get from a store in the metro area that they live in, and I live in a smaller city. And we all stood in the backyard, but he was sleeping, so it was kind of sad. Poor guy. Okay, so we have that piece, and now I'm thinking, because I could put another piece up there, but maybe not. Also, this collection, this photoplay collection, comes with phrases. And I thought I might see if I could find anything. Now, a lot of these, oh, here's one that says eat popcorn. Well, that has to go on here. Right? There we go. Almost missed that. A lot of these have to do with summer bucket list things. I want to get, I need another cluster. I'm going to bring this in just a little bit. Somewhere on this side, because we have one up here. You know, we have a little something here. We have a little something here, and I need something over here. So I'm just trying to figure out what we'll use. So we could do this ticket here and then put the popcorn down. Normally, if I could, I would tuck this in, but it's a little bit too big for that. So I think we're just going to have to lay this over, and I can do popcorn here like this. And this will bring in, it's not exactly one of these greens, it's pretty close to that one. And then, let's see, one of these will pop up, and one of these will leave down. Oh, that's amazing, Cynthia. So she's talking about her grandson had not been in a store because of the pandemic, and he didn't know how to sit, his almost 2-year-old grandson, and he didn't know how to sit in a cart. I would say number 4 is probably the same way. I don't know. Geez. I don't know that he's been in a store in all seriousness. He'll be 2 in June. So he's of similar age to your grandson. Okay, so really liking the way this is working. And I'm okay now with putting this popcorn down. So thanks, Susan. These are really fun embellishments for this. I was so glad I remembered that I had the popcorn because, oh, it's perfect. And I think I've said this before. I didn't think I scrapped to themes, but I do all the time. I just don't realize it because I find little themed embellishments. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now, what am I missing? And so this is where I start looking at color, shape, anything like that. And I have a big spot of green over here, and I have red kind of scattered around the layout here and here, kind of in these clusters. There's a little red here, no red here, except there is red in this paper right behind it. So red for me is probably not as important. I'm just gonna look in these stickers and see if there's any red. There's this bowling ball. But I'm not sure that that's the, you know, I'll cover up the holes. This is one of those make the embellishment work for you, not the other way. I'll see if I can get this to work. If I don't like it, I'll just take it off and we'll, because it may not make any sense. Yeah, actually, I think it's okay. So I'm going to just sneak this in here a little closer. This is a little risky because, and I want that crossing into this red here. Okay, so there's a little bit of red. So now we have the red. There's yellow in the popcorn and there's yellow here. So I think that's pretty good. I'm missing green over here and green up here. Easiest way to get color on pages that you're missing is to use enamel dots or something like that. Because I don't know that I want to put more stickers on here. So let me grab my enamel dots and try to keep from hitting you guys, or the camera, not you. I wouldn't really hit you guys. So I have that little, this green here, and I've got this green, and I have more, I have a green that almost matches that. So I'm going to use those. So these are Doodlebug Sprinkles, which is probably my favorite enamel dots to use. And I think I bought 2 of these accidentally, but that's okay. Nothing wrong with that. And then I can just distribute the greens around. So then this, as I do this, now you can see how that's starting to pull in color. I want to make sure if I'm using it, that I'm using the right. Yeah. So this is from this other row. I don't want to use the darker green here. And I can just journal around that. So now this cluster has the red, green, and the yellow, as does this one. And we're going to, there's a little bit of kind of, you know, the red up here. I'm going to kind of count that and say that that's going to work that way. So that's how I do embellishment clusters. You don't have to do exactly the same thing in every cluster. I've talked about this before, I think. Just make sure that you have things represented in each of them. So then I think I'm going to bring this one down a little bit here, and then this one maybe up there. There we go. Not all the way up because it doesn't look like it's part of it, but that brings that Saturday in there as well too. Oh, and I forgot that cluster. So then this one, maybe that big one right there. And then we have to do some, oh, I just poked myself in the finger. That never feels good. That is the one bad thing about my tweezers. And I am now bleeding, so I'll try not to get it on my layout. Fortunately, we're almost done. Those scrapbooking injuries, right? Okay, there we go. So then, even though these things are all different, I'm going to grab a Kleenex, you guys, because my finger is bleeding enough that I need it. So even though the clusters have different elements, obviously they have a commonality in the popcorn. You can do common shapes, like you can do circles and just choose some different circles, or circular motifs or something like that. In this case, we have popcorn in all 3. And then we have yellow and red, and then green, because we're using the enamel dots to get the green in. But then the enamel dots are the same. And so that really even helps unite the 3 clusters even more. But if you're new to clustering, or if you're not feeling comfortable with clustering, by all means, grab 3. Again, rule of 3. The rule of 3 is really the rule of odd numbers. Our eyes are much more comfortable with odd numbers than they are with even numbers in design. So grab 3 things, because that's easy. It's a smaller cluster, that are exactly the same. So grab 3 stars and I know, grab a circle or scallop punch and a phrase sticker or something like that. And then you can put those in 3 different spots. And the reason for the rule of 3 that you hear a lot about is because you can take those 3 design elements and you put your photo in the middle of them, so that the intersection of those, the photo or photos in my case, is in the middle of them, and they help draw your eye to the photo. So that's why you use that. And the reason I said the rule of odd numbers is you may have 5 clusters on a page. You certainly could do that. Definitely when I work in terms of 2 pages, I'll often have 5. Sometimes I'll use 4, but I will often have 5 clusters, or I'll have 3 and 3 on each page. That's the other thing that I'll sometimes do. And I always say, first of all, do what looks good to your eye, and don't worry about what the rules are. Don't worry about what other people think. Just like what you make, because I promise you, your family and generations down, if they're seeing your books, are never going to look at the design elements on the pages. That's more for us, and I think growing within our craft. But if that's not your thing, don't worry about it. But if you're interested in it, that's why there's the reasons for all of those things. And I don't know how many of you know this. I was an interior design major. So I already, not only did I have an eye, because I think you don't go into something like that without having some sort of design eye, but I was also trained in it as well too. So when I'm looking at pages, that stuff comes naturally to me, and I actually have to think about it so that I can tell you guys about why I'm doing something or why it looks that way. And it's actually been a really cool thing for me as I've grown, as I've scrapbooked and started to do YouTube things, to think about, well, why am I doing these things? So that when I look at a page and it doesn't look okay to me, or there's something that's bothering me, I can look at it and go, oh, well, the reason for that is because maybe I don't have a cluster right, or I'm missing a color in a cluster, that kind of a thing. I did look, you guys don't know this, but I did look to see if I had a green circle, because I was toying with putting some sort of green circle up here. I think that would have made this a little bit better balanced, but I didn't have it in the sticker sheets I had out, and decided just to let that piece go because I think it's still fine. It's united, and there's a lot of stuff going on up here. So anyway, so hopefully some of that helps, some of that stuff helps you to think about, you know, when you're looking at a layout and it doesn't feel finished, or feels incomplete, there's something about it that's bothering you, that might be why. But again, there are no rules in scrapbooking. The only rule there is that it should please you. And not every layout I make is my favorite layout or is even a layout that I really love. But I also know that when I turn them over, I do have books for myself, but I scrapbook for my grandkids, and I scrapbook for my great niece and nephew's family, and I will be making a baby book for my newest great nephew. I know they're not looking at that stuff. They're looking at the photos and remembering the memories behind it, and that's the most important thing, honestly. So hopefully you guys, that helped a little bit. In case you joined me a little bit later, normally I go live on Friday nights. I have plans for Friday night, and I have plans for Saturday. And what I'm going to do is go live on Sunday at some point on Sunday. So if you haven't, pop the notification bell on, and that'll let you know when I'm going live, that kind of thing. But on sometime later morning, my time, again, I'm in the central time zone, later morning or in the afternoon, I'll go live, and we'll be able to do that. But hopefully you guys had fun this afternoon. It was fun to see some of you guys that I don't get to see all the time as well too, when I'm going live on Friday night. So kind of that. All right, you guys, thanks for joining me. Thanks for all your kind comments and the little bit of chit chat this afternoon. I have to go and pick up some more pictures, so I have stuff to scrapbook this weekend. So thanks, Susan, for that. And thanks, Tammy. I'm sure I'm going to have a blast this weekend. Thanks, Barb. And I do love the way this turned out. Lots of little meaning. Books, popcorn, good stuff. So, all right, you guys, take care, and we'll see you with a process video on Saturday, and I'll see you live on Sunday. Bye, everybody.